Today is going to be a special day because I've planned a one-of-a-kind divine event just for you. Share can change your life, making it better and getting rid of problems. All the bad things going on around you after what you get today. Worries about debts will be a thing of the past. But to fully understand what I mean, it's important that you stay with me until the end. Then you'll know exactly how to get your gift. At the end, I will pray along with you so that all of the good things the Lord has planned for you can happen. In your life, one important promise is that whenever you hear the word receive or feel like something is coming at you, the message I get from my dad to make sure the Most High blesses you today isn't just any day. It's the day the Lord has chosen to open his good luck. I want you to stop everything and pay close attention to have you ever thought that God has a wonderful and unique plan for what's going to happen. For your life, no matter what problems, threats, or fights you face, every day God knows every tear you've shed, every tired sigh, and He is about to share a prayer you said with a heart full of hope. I'll tell you a secret that will completely change your life. Just picture the person who made the cosmos, the all-powerful, the King of Kings, picked today to pour out blessings on you. This is huge and wonderful. Why is this taking place? Because he loves you so much, and this love is so big that it goes beyond all limits and overcomes any. This love that is around you right now and embracing you is the challenge. This gift will give you strength and help you with an open heart. We sometimes feel small and unable. God doesn't see us that way. Is aware of our strengths, sees our potential, and knows our trust. He knows that we can get through anything with him by our side. This is what he wants you to understand today. You are never alone in a challenge or a fight. God is with you through every step, choice, and moment of your life, my brother and sister. You might be having a money problem right now. Perhaps the bills are getting bigger and the money is going missing more quickly. Faster. I know how that feels because I've been through something similar. There was a time when I also had a lot of money problems. The bills kept coming in, there wasn't enough money, and stress set in. With all my heart, I felt like I had no idea where I was going. Are you stuck in a tunnel where you can't see the light at the end? Well, I'm here to tell you that faith can bring about change and there is hope. God never leaves us even when things look bad. In our darkest times, he is our provider and supporter. He knows all of our wants and is always ready to help us, no matter how bad our cash picture is. Problem is that God has the power to change things. When I was having a hard time, I gave my whole heart to God, prayed very hard, and begged him to help me. I told him all my fears, and slowly he started to open doors, illuminate routes, and bring solutions I had never imagined. In the next few minutes you will receive an important message, so focus your attention and avoid getting distracted. God wants to speak straight to you. We live at a fast pace, don't we? We start our day with our minds full of the countless chores ahead of us. Work demands a lot from us, family needs our care, and bills keep. It looks like there's never enough time. In the middle of everything, we often feel like we've lost our hope and energy weakens, but I want to tell you of something important. God is he is in charge. He knows all your problems and he wants you to rest today. I want to invite you to take, yes, there was a stop, a moment to breathe in the middle of everything, of all this chaos. Because life is more than that. God has a plan for each of us that is bigger than this rush. Wants us to follow this plan with peace, joy, and meaning. God has a special plan for you. Need to know something very important about your life. As shown at the end of this film, we sometimes feel like it's ours. We feel like we have to handle everything by hand, as if we have to carry the world on our, but that's not how God planned it. He never wanted us to carry these alone. He tells us in 1 Peter to put all our fears and burdens on him. 5:7 says, put all your stress on him because he cares for. You know how nice it is to know that God cares about us and is interested in everything and wants to take this load off of us. I know that in theory, but in practice, it's not always easy to give everything to God. We worry, We get nervous and we try to figure things out on our own. But believing God means believing that He is in charge of everything and acknowledging His power. We can find peace in Him even when things are bad. Storms, take this truth to heart and pay close attention to what I'm going to say. Do you remember the story of Martha and Mary in Luke's Gospel? Martha was stressed out and busy with a lot of things. She tried to do all of her many jobs by herself. But Mary chose to. He then told Martha, "Sit at His feet and listen to what He has to say." Martha, you're upset and worried about a lot of things, but only one is Mary had to pick the better part, and it can't be taken away from her. Jesus tells us to stop listening to Him and put our trust in. He told us to learn to stop, take a deep breath, and look for God. We forget to seek God's presence to talk to Him sometimes because we're too busy with daily jobs and problems to listen to His advice, but it is exactly when you are in touch with the Lord that we get the strength and clarity we need to move on. Feel free to share your thoughts with your brother or sister. There is hope in the air, because times of great wealth and plenty have never been closer. Yes, it's true that God's support is about to show up over you in a supernatural way, and your family. Enjoy this gift. We know that life is full of ups and downs. Some days everything seems to be going well, and other days also during hard times when nothing seems to go right. I want to tell you that, even when things look the worst, God is still working. He takes care of everything, changes your life in ways you can't even imagine. God is a miracle-working God, of changing things that seem impossible, making roads where there aren't any, and bringing the new in the midst of the. He works behind the scenes to set the scene for chaos, and sometimes we don't even know it. The stage for a big change, and you, my brother and my sister. The Bible is full of stories about this amazing plan, change and renewal for regular people like me and you whose lives have been completely changed by God's power, and these changes don't just happen in stories from the past. They still happen in the lives of those who do not rush, but believe in the Lord and let His power work. I also want to encourage you to make things happen in your life. God has all of your dreams in His hands. No matter how big they are, no matter how big or small, give it to God in prayer. Uncertainties. Every day we face problems and events that often make us feel down, but know that nothing is impossible with God. Giving your dreams to God means you're willing to follow the perfect plan He has for you. Since God made everything, He also has the power to make things happen. Wants of your heart, but there is one catch. Without faith, life can seem like a heavy load full of unknowns. Fear's hope is what keeps us going when everything else seems to be falling apart. Giving up. If you believe in God, please share it with me. I trust you. As a father, your life is full of mysteries and surprises, like an interesting story. You from beginning to end, always leaving you wondering what will happen next. That's how our lives are. And the coolest thing is that God is in every scene, leading and to get stronger. Picture yourself on a slow-moving roller coaster and feel that thrill. The climb may seem never-ending, but you know the view from the top will be worth it. And when you get there, even after a fast and exciting walk down, have a good time and feel alive. Life is full of. There are tough times and challenges that shape and improve us when the bills keep coming in and it feels like it's hard to deal with because there's no end in sight. But what if I told you that you can get stronger when things are hard? It's like getting clean water, source in the desert. Accept this gift from God, from the Father. Talking about that hard job where it feels like you're up against a huge wave complex. I've been through that with coworkers, a strict boss, and tight schedules, too. But what if these problems are hidden? Chances, every problem you solve gets you ready for a bigger challenge. Have you ever stopped to think about this? On the following, when things are tough at work, and you think that when the load is too much to bear, it's important to remember that God is our source of. He gives us strength and the knowledge and wisdom to handle any problem that comes up. When trouble comes our way, don't be afraid to ask God for help. Have faith that God is with you and will guide you in the best way. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith and trust that God has more exciting and better things in store for you. So don't let God has a plan for each person, even when they are having problems. One of us, and it's important to remember that. Let me ask you an honest question. What do you think? Sometimes how we respond to things is more important than the things themselves. This is the truth about how we deal with problems, difficulties, and even the gifts we receive have a big effect on our journey and our happiness. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever been through something tough like a problem at work or a fight with a friend or a sickness? We all have to deal with tough situations. Life is full of obstacles and things that you don't expect at times. Surprises. The real question is how we deal with these times. For example, let's say if you've lost your job, this is definitely a very tough situation. Despair can be very strong, and it may seem like the whole world is coming apart around you. This is where you have a very important choice to make. Be filled with hopelessness and paralysis, or you can use this trouble to your advantage. This could be a great time to try new things and see what happens. Chance to try something new, learn something new, and maybe even find a job that even more happiness and satisfaction. So how you reply will determine how you feel. Dealing with problems is important for your growth and happiness. See problems as chances to grow and learn. While knowing God is with you at all times, arguments and mistakes are there to help and guide you every step of the way. Things that everyone has to deal with at some point and hasn't agreed with. When we're with a close friend or family member, we often say things you shouldn't, or do something that hurts the other person. But the most important thing is we can hold on to not only what was said or done, but also how we choose to respond to these things. Hold grudges and think about what happened, letting it affect our health and happiness. We can also choose to accept and try to fix things in our relationships. Forgiving someone, seeing things from their point of view, and choosing to move on has huge both the person who forgives and the person who is forgiven heal. Forgiving someone can ease the pain of hurt and bring back inner peace. It can be hard to find peace when it comes to health. More than that, no one likes having health problems, and dealing with them is one of the hardest problems we can face. But even when we're sick, the way you think can make a big difference. We know of people who, even though they have serious illnesses, they manage to keep an upbeat attitude, faith and hope. These people show that you can find joy even when you're in pain, strength and drive to keep going, even when things get hard. Faith is a very important part of turning these hard times into chances to grow. There is a Bible chapter that really inspires me when it comes to faith and resilience. Romans 8:28 says, "We know that God works all things out for the good of those who believe." This passage tells us that those who love Him and have been called according to His plan. No matter what we're going through, God is always in charge, control. He can make any situation better for us even if we don't want it to be that way. Understand what the immediate point of events is, but over time we often come to realize that there is a deeper meaning to the problems we face now. Imagine if we looked at them that way. Every struggle is a chance to grow as a person. What if, instead of not giving up or complaining, we tried to learn and get stronger with each one? In times of trouble, this method could completely change how we live and deal with things. How we deal with problems is what makes life worth living. Let me tell you a short story. An example of this is a friend of mine who went through a very hard time, facing a number of problems that seemed impossible to solve. But instead of giving up, he decided to see each challenge as a chance to learn and grow. Learn that his upbeat and strong attitude helped him get through it all the tough times and make the most of new chances in his life. This story shows us that how we deal with problems and hardships can shape our path and if you want to be happy, know that your attitude matters when you face problems in life. Freedom has the power to change anything that happens to him. A very hard time when they lost their job, had health problems, and got divorced. At once, instead of giving up and letting these problems crush them, he made up his mind to get closer to God. He said, he began to seek, deepening his experience of God's presence by reading the Bible, and focus began to shift when people started to pray more, bring about good results over time. He got a new job, and he got better health and rebuilt his life in ways he hadn't been able to before. He thought that the change in his life was a direct result of his choice to. It's important to remember to have hope and courage when things go wrong, that we have the power to choose how we deal with hard times. This choice isn't just a way to deal with issues, it's also a way to shape the future and our point of view. If you're having a hard time and things are going as planned, I want you to look at this situation from a new angle, from another point of view. See it as a chance to get stronger and get closer to God, and to learn important lessons. Even though these problems are not easy, but they can find power and meaning in them with God by their side. We can get through any problem that comes our way if we look at this tough time as a push yourself, and keep in mind that the way you act can say a lot about you to the people around you. When people see how strong our religion is and how we keep going even when things get hard, they are moved to seek a greater relationship with God and change the way they live their lives. Because of this, how we deal with problems can not only change our own lives but also, have you ever thought about how you can positively affect the lives of others? On what Jesus said in Matthew 4:19. Try to picture what was going on at the time. Jesus was walking along the Sea of Galilee when he saw Simon and his brother James. These two men, who were also known as Peter and Andrew, were setting their nets into the pit because they were fishermen for a living. Jesus called them and said, "If you follow me, I'll turn you into fishers of men." Now picture yourself at work, surroundings fully focused on your daily tasks, when all of a sudden Jesus shows up and opens the door to something much bigger and grander than anything you've ever experienced. I thought that's exactly what happened with Peter and Andrew. They were caught up in a simple fishing and having a normal life. But Jesus had a much bigger plan. For them, he saw more than what they could see. He saw past the nets and the fish, seeing the possibility in themselves for something much bigger. And this is the same invitation I believe that Jesus is calling each of us to be fishers of. What does this really mean though? It means that God wants you to share his word of love, hope and salvation for those around us. It's a call to be a part of something much bigger than our daily activities, and it's a huge blessing. We may feel down sometimes and think, I'm just an ordinary person doing ordinary things. Jobs like, how can I do something big? But that's exactly where the secret lies. Jesus didn't call perfect or strange people he picked were fishers, regular people with flaws. And one amazing thing about him is that he changed these men's lives in amazing ways. Jesus sees our potential even when we can't. Himself, he knows that we can do it with his help and direction. Amazing things. So Jesus' call is a chance to change and an invite to be a part of something much bigger than we can imagine. No matter what your life is about, whether you are a student, a worker, a homemaker, or an older person, there is a special and unique plan for you. God wants you to be a source of goodness for those around you. It may be easier than you think to do this if you share this video with your friends and family. You're helping to get this word of hope and change out there. I urge you to please share this movie with as many people as you can. Together we can reach millions of people and make a big difference. So let's work together to move this forward. Mission. Always keep in mind that what we plant we shall reap. This is why it is important that we faith and hard work to do our part. I want you to know that the wealth God is planning for us is not just about material things alone, but yes, He will help you make money, get a new job, chances, and multiply your wealth. But the real prosperity that God gives us goes far beyond what God wants for our success, wholeness in every part of our lives. Think about what good is for a moment. It to get rich if your heart is full of pain, and you don't have peace, or God's real joy and prosperity come from the inside out and include not only our money health but also our spiritual health. And God wants us to have a full and abundant life in every way, so He gives us deep and meaningful connections. It gives you lasting happiness and peace that lasts through life's storms, is not based on circumstances, and a love that fills all the gaps in your heart. Let's look at this part of John a little more. Verse 27, "Peace I leave with you. The peace I give you I do not give to you." Peace is a great gift that the world gives. Can't compare to the peace the world gives us even when things go wrong and problems. God's peace keeps our minds at ease and gives us the strength to keep going. It's a journey that doesn't depend on what's going on outside or what's nearby. Peace that comes from within and keeps us going. Accept this peace that is greater than all others. We can learn from the Bible that the joy of the Lord is our strength. This joy doesn't go away quickly or depend on good things happening. It is a joy that comes straight from the heart, not from circumstances or things. Lord, and has the power to make us stronger and change the way we see life. Even when things are bad, reasons to smile and be thankful, because this happiness lasts longer than short-term problems. Think about your relationships and the good things God can do for you. Shows up in the relationships God wants to fix with other people, improve and bless our relationships with family and friends, colleagues. He wants us to live together in love and peace, helping each other, being a light wherever we are. We know that relationships between people can be hard and complicated, but God's love and knowledge help us learn to forgive and understand. Prosperity helps people get along with each other and build good, long-lasting relationships. Happiness is something that can't be bought with money. People often only think about material wealth, but God wants our lives to be rich and in every way. He wants us to live a healthy life with meaning and purpose. He takes care of every part of reaching this complete prosperity. Starts with faith. It is through faith that we gain the peace, joy, and love that God gives us everything we need to live a full and abundant life. One of the most important things is to believe that God can and will help us. In general, having faith is more than just thinking. It means trusting and knowing that God is in charge of everything and that He is with us even when things go wrong. God wants the best for us, even when we don't understand the problems at first. It's important to seek God with all your heart. Jesus tells us in Matthew 6:33 to look for the kingdom of above all else. God and His justice promise that all of these things will be added to. We should put building a deep and true relationship at the top of our list. Connection with God and letting Him direct our routes and choices. Also, living according to following God's rules is necessary to experience the real prosperity that God offers. That this means not only liking others and forgetting wrongs, but also being kind, taking care of our health, and being honest at work. Dedication. God's rules tell us how to live honestly and kind, showing respect for His goodness. Justice in the things we do every day. When we follow these rules, we'll be successful. God wants for us to start showing up naturally. True prosperity is not limited, not just about money, but also about living a full and important life, and opening our hearts to this complete. To be prosperous, you have to fully believe God, seek His presence, and live a good life. His lessons say that if you follow this method, you will start to see changes and a difference in your life that may be better than you thought. Your heart. Think about telling someone else who needs to hear these. Let's get the word out about this encouraging truth about the wealth God has saved for us. Thank you for everything. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to keep getting words that can inspire you and change your life. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a part of this growing Christian group. Every day, set off the alarm bell so you can get news. See you next time, and may God bless you, with you.